Пиздец какой-то. В смысле нет? Вон у меня сейчас скинулось. Да? Скрыть и призвать, да? Скрыть и призвать надо, да, основание? Посмотрим. Даже не знаю. Почему я к тебе в гильдии должна вступать? Почему, да? Меня там кто-то ждет? Ну, кроме тебя. Да, Инг скажет, нахер мне твоя мусорная лампа. На осадок говно. Да, да. Че вернусь.
Does it say?
I'm showing you that.
Oh, this is the end. So the end of the fight, and I'm telling you, Bochniak is getting his ass kicked the whole fight. Never saw. Look at this. The end. Standard.
Super.
Yeah. And that's is John Cena in trouble for selling his Ford GT?
I don't think so. I don't think the contract is enforceable.
You don't think so?
I'm just going by what I've read.
Tell people what the story is.
So to get one of the new Ford GTs, right? It's what's called a homologation race car. Okay, so they wanted to go win the 24 Hours of Le Mans in a certain class, the LMGTE class. In order to race in that class, it has to be a street car, right? So you have to build a certain number of street cars. You can't just build a dedicated race car. That would be called the prototype class. Okay, so they had to build, I think the number is 499. It's 400 and something, 450, 499, whatever it is. Ford decides that the demand will outstrip the supply, and they're, rather than, you know, highest biddering or whatever, they make you like apply. So you have to be a social media star or a celebrity or someone. You had to like tell them why you should have a Ford GT and what you were going to do with it and how you were going to share your Ford GT with the world, and then they would decide that you had earned the right to buy their $450,000 car.
Jesus.
And it came with a contract that you couldn't sell it for 2 years. They didn't want people flipping them.
Right.
Which apparently is exactly what John Cena went and did, and flipped his GT for an unspecified amount of money.
Must be so fucking rich. Like, why would he violate the contract for a couple $100,000?
I've never met John Cena. Is he
huge?
Is he a very huge person?
He's enormous.
How huge is he? Like height?
He's so
would you
enormous. Think? Well, he's just enormous. Like width. I bet he's probably only like 6'3" or 6'4".
All right, if he's 6'4", he can't fit in it. So if he took delivery and can't fit in it, that's probably why he would get rid of it rather than selling it for 2 years.
How tall Mr. Cena is. But
I'm 6'2", and my head hit the ceiling.
Oh, that's probably exactly what it is. He's probably 6'2" at least. He seems like a guy who should be even longer and taller than he is because he's so thick. It's almost like they chopped off a foot of his arms in every place.
That's
he's
funny.
A giant, but his wrists are like fucking tree trunks.
Hilarious.
6'2", 250.
Yeah. See, so he probably
it'd be close. It'd be close.
6'2" or 6 foot.
6 foot, 250 pounds.
Oh, wow, he's shorter than I thought. Well, I don't know why he sold it, but he did.
Well, maybe even for him, if it's 2 inches for you, maybe he felt squashed in there.
Look, I drove it for one day. I don't know what kind of sacrifices to buy it, but I think
little fuck like me might be a good car.
Be good for you. So the seat is fixed, and the pedals and steering wheel are adjustable.
Oh,
you can't adjust the seat.
How bizarre.
Yeah,
the pedals come to you.
Yeah,
I don't think I like that.
That's what you got to do, man. It's what you have to do because the shape of the car dictates the seat back angles a bit.
Can't you just make the seat slide? Put the seat on.
It
some
isn't
rollers?
like a seat. No, you can't. The car's so low. A seat rail is like inches. Precious inches.
Precious inches.
Yeah. Dude, the roof is 43 inches from the ground. That's like this.
Whoa.
It's so low.
It's that low?
It's 43 inches. It's from the roof to the ground. Yeah. Compared to all the car, it won Le Mans, by the way, in the year it was supposed to.
Wow.
You park it next to a 911. A 911 is like 6 inches taller than one of these things.
Whoa.
That makes a really big difference in the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Oh, sure.
You're talking 200 mile an hour straightaway speeds. Like, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So they've designed the car without seat rails to get everything even further down, you know?
It's a dope looking car. I saw one that was black with red stripes.
That was the press car.
That
was the one I was driving around. Yeah. Leno's got the same color, too.
God, that's a pretty car.
It's gangster.
That's a pretty car.
It's carbon fiber wheels. Which are lovely. Carbon fiber wheels. So there's two kinds of weight in a car. There's sprung weight and unsprung weight.
What's that mean?
So sprung weight is weight that is most of what you think of as the car. The engine, the body, anything that is sprung on the suspension. Unsprung weight is weight on the car that is not sprung on the suspension. So wheels, brake rotors, tires, suspension components that aren't sitting on the suspension, right? So it's like a rough calculation, but like roughly 1 pound of unsprung weight will translate the feeling of 5 pounds of sprung weight. So meaning like if you are able to pull 20 pounds of unsprung weight out of your car, each wheel is 4 pounds or is 5 pounds lighter than a stock wheel, okay? So you're now about 20 pounds unsprung weight out of your car. Your car will feel like you pulled 100 pounds out of it.
Whoa.
And it will stop, start, accelerate, turn better, totally. It'll perform better in all areas. So to go from a forged aluminum wheel, which is 23 or 24, 25 pounds a wheel, to a carbon fiber wheel, it's like 11 pounds a wheel. You're pulling so much unsprung weight out of the car, it'll feel like, swinging a baseball bat with a weight on it and then just throwing that weight away.
Wow.
Yeah. Massive, 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 massive difference. And the wheels are so expensive.
I would imagine, like, how many companies make carbon fiber wheels?
One.
Oh
They're
my
called
God.
Carbon Revolution, and they're from Australia.
And do they only make them for the Ford GT?
They make them for. You can buy the wheels. They have fitments for a few different cars. Porsche GT3 is one. And they make them for Ford.
Will you do me a favor, Jamie, and pull up the photo of that black Ford GT with the red stripes?
It's on my Instagram if you have my Instagram handy, the one I drove.
Fuck, man.
It's an incredibly, the road presence is just obscene. And it makes noises that only, there it is.
That thing. God damn!
It makes noises that only race cars make. There's a specific sound, like the pops and crackles you get from most of these modern cars when they dump the fuel in the exhaust and shit. And it's cool, but it's a synthetic-y sound. It's programmed.
Right.
This does that, not programmed. It's just like fuel into header bang.
Wow.
It's just so race car. So nice.
And this goes for like $500,000?
Yeah, $450 if you can get one.
But you can't get one.
But you can't get one.
Unless you know John Cena.
And then the rumor is he got like over $1 million for his, but
oh, so somebody ordered. Well, that makes sense.
he flipped it. Yeah, he flipped it. Yeah.
And so they're suing him.
Это
Yeah,
тут?
Why
I
would they do
read
that?
that it was thrown out. They sued him
Что
for
делаешь?
breach of contract for selling it.
Yeah.
But
Что делаешь?
he claims or claimed that the contract didn't say he couldn't sell it.
Пошли в овер поиграем.
So was it a verbal agreement or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was one of those things. They just hoped
Ну
nobody would
Вовер,
call
ну
him out
пойдем
on
по
and-
контейнеру,
Maybe it's
Вовер.
unenforceable. I mean, how do they sell you something and then enforce that you can't
Это что
sell
такое?
the thing you bought? You
Right,
know.
you can't do that. You
So-
literally
Ну,
can't do that. I don't
без
think
стрима
that's enforceable.
поиграем.
I
Нет,
think
никак.
once the contract is signed and you take possession of this object, that's yours.
Ты ж
Do whatever
стримишь,
you
что
want.
ли?
I think it's
Yeah,
morally, I
that's
completely
America.
agree.
Мгм.
This is America,
Ты,
motherfucker.
блин, ну ладно, ты все равно никто не
Ford,
смотрит.
hats off.
Пойдем.
You made a dope ass car. That thing's amazing. looking.
It's extremely,
Кто?
extremely.
Ты сам?
crazy.
God.
It really,
Нет.
and it's unlike anything else on the road because
Нет, даже
even-
не знала, что ты
even
стримишь.
the very, very high-end supercars, your Lamborghini Aventadors
Ну,
that are
прямой.
400 grand and your V12 Ferraris and all that stuff are fundamentally they're road
Нет,
cars.
я
Even
думала,
when
сейчас не
they go
стримишь.
racing with them, they sort of take the road car and modify it for racing. This is so clearly a race car that they had to build some street cars,
Wow.
and it's fucking rocking.
It looks amazing.
It's
Are they
got an
gonna
air
continue to
brake on
make
it,
them?
the
Okay,
active.
What's that mean?
So
Oh, the
go back to the
back end
rear
lifts up,
picture.
right?
Yeah, so the wing, the whole wing, that whole wing that goes across the back there lifts up.
When you hit the brakes.
Well, it lifts when you start driving quick. It lifts up and becomes a wing,
Right.
and then when you hit the brakes, it flips up and
Right.
becomes an actual air brake.
That's
and it is
crazy.
extremely effective.
I would imagine.
What it does is when you brake, the car nose dives. It completely eliminates the dive, so the car just
Wow.
squats straight down.
Wow.
It's wild.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Are they gonna keep making them?
I don't think so. I
Why
don't-
not Ford?
If I had to guess, they lose money on every single one they make. If I had to guess.
What kind of bullshit world are we running here?
I know.
Trump, I thought you were gonna fix all this. Thought that was
А
part of
тебе
your
долго твою
platform.
херню
That's what I
настраивать?
heard. Gonna make American cars great again.
The car
that thing.
economy
Jesus.
is
Кстати, после
such a
бочек канал-то
global
поменял.
economy. Like we make a bunch of the Hellcats are built like in
Ну,
Canada.
какой-нибудь первый.
And
Yeah.
we make BMW X5s in South Carolina.
Well, we make
know?
Ford Tundras in Texas. That's what
You
we
mean a
make. those.
Toyota Tundra?
Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
О чем
Yeah,
вообще?
Toyotas make a couple different cars here in America,
I
right?
th-
Honda's make a couple cars in America.
I think Japanese automakers
Ты видела,
probably
я
have
картиночку
at
в
least
скайп
as
кидала?
many auto workers in America as American car companies do.
Dude,
This
look
is
at
definitely the same car I was driving.
Look
the press
at
car.
that thing. God,
What is great
so
is just
pretty.
the buttresses. Like when it goes by, you can see right through
Картиночка.
the side of the car. You can just see the air there between the tunnel and the pod.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
That might be the best looking car I've ever
Картиночка
seen.
It
просто.
is so
Смешная.
cool. And it is so fast.
As far as like American cars,
Понимаешь?
that literally might be the best looking car
Смешная
I've ever seen.
картиночка. Ну и все, ладно, фиг с тобой.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Блин, зайди да посмотри.
It's amazing how many Kim Kardashian clones exist now. I mean, and even in her own family, I don't know all the names of them, but one of the younger ones, it's like she went to the plastic surgeon and she was like,
No.
I want to look like Kim.
Yeah.
And they just give her the same face.
Не смешно тебе?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with that?
And the butt thing is
Ой,
the
всё,
most
иди
disgusting
нафиг.
thing. Where they're taking fat
Так ты не
stuff
прочитал,
into
что ли?
their ass and they develop
Не посмотрел?
diaper butt.
Что ты спрашиваешь?
I mean, there's a lot of people out there with diaper butt.
Ну.
I met a girl the other day that had diaper butt. She was at the comedy store and I couldn't look away. I was
Даже
like, "Yeah, it's
Ульфи
happening to
сразу
her
же
butt."
понял, что
'Cause
это
I knew
намек
it
на
wasn't
тебя.
real. I knew she had like,
Oh, okay.
she
So
had
look,
these spindly
because
legs.
yeah, the skinny legs and then the
Всё, ладно.
Well, if a girl has a big like
hips and the,
Слишком
right.
сложные
remember
приколы,
R. Crumb
видимо.
comics? Do you remember R. Crumb comics?
No.
You know what R. Crumb is? R. Crumb, there was a great documentary called Crumb, and it's about this guy who's this like, really
Что ты
eccentric,
находишься?
perverted cartoonist from the 1970s.
Кумрейди.
And he would always draw these women with these
Ты вообще что
enormous
смотришь?
legs and enormous butt. But they weren't fat. They were
Да в
just, it was
скайпе.
voluptuous. Well, no, it was, you gotta, it's
Ну я ж
past
тебе сказала
voluptuous.
скайпе.
Into,
Ну ты
like,
что?
super athlete DNA. Like if you could get that girl and make some male babies with it, you would have a fucking ultimate warrior. Like that. See that woman? Like they're perfect.
Yeah.
How to have fun with a strong girl. And you see R. Crumb. That's
Looks
actually
like
him.
Ronnie Coleman legs.
And, yeah, that's actually him with his boner because he was this really frail, dorky guy. And he's got this image of this woman who just looks like a tank. She has these giant muscle legs and big boobs, but not like ridiculous stripper boobs, but more like just super alpha DNA female boobs.
Yeah.
He was a freaky guy. Like, look at him. He's got sock. I mean, that's who he was. Like, look at the one above that, Jamie. The one to the right. Yeah, right there. Like,
Шивовер,
Oh my goodness.
this is what he used to draw. He was always drawing these enormous, powerful women.
This guy was definitely into getting dominated by.
Oh, yeah. He would just shove his whole head in their pussy or something.
Sure.
Ну
Like,
смешно
look
же,
at-
скажи.
he had him riding one. I guess he's supposed
Что
to be
это?
doing
Нет,
sex.
And this
смешно.
guy definitely nutted in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh man. Look, he's choking them.
Я-то
in this
да.
cartoon. Like he's always choking them. Like you
Это
literally
слишком
couldn't have
серьезен.
an R. Crumb today.
That looks like it looks kind of like a Woody Allen too.
Oh,
the
yeah.
picture. Yeah.
Well, see if
Слишком
you can
серьезно
find,
в этом мире все
video of him.
воспринимаешь.
R. Crumb. The documentary is fascinating because I think he wound up moving to France or something like that. I think he wound up leaving America. But there's actually, if you go to video, you'll find that
блин.
there's video of him. But that was the guy. He
Зато на
was
пауков
really
девок
fascinating
посмотрел.
guy. That's not him.
It looks just like
Is
him on
it?
the right.
Ой, ты не на лицо
Not
смотри, на
right.
сиськи.
Oh, that's not him.
Definitely not the right.
Okay. Guy on
Maybe
the
it's
left.
him on the left. Is that him? Oh, there it is.
Нравится?
He just looks odd. It's because he's holding up that picture.
Yeah.
Maybe
Shit.
it's also because I'm looking at him now as an older man.
Yeah.
A lot of the video that I'd seen was
Не,
him.
ну шире
It
плечи,
bothers me
конечно,
to look at
жестко.
him and think like
Я
that
не
guy
спорю.
has a strong sex drive. Like,
Well,
oh, that's yeah, you
He
can see
might
that.
not. He might just save it up for every couple weeks
And then
you
draw
know.
one of those cartoons and beat off to it.
or find a gal
Yeah.
that's suitable.
Exactly.
Пошли.
Pay
Yeah.
somebody to sit on his face.
Strange character.
Вовер.
It doesn't matter, James. It's alright. What's that?
Ну, полчасика, да,
Good for
блин.
cat, too.
Пару
Yeah,
карточек
he did
собираем.
Fix the Cat. He did a lot of pretty famous
Ну, можно, да.
animated or cartoon.
Какая
comic
осада,
book
блин,
type
ты
things.
чё?
They were
Очень.
all like cartoonish, like
Не,
features. Everybody was weird.
Yeah.
ну
And
не
you think
ходи.
Kim has now made that's the
Не.
No, but that's
standard
different.
butt.
See, this is
Знаю
like
я
a
твой
real, like
быстро.
that. Those women's asses that R. Crumb drew. I'm not justifying.
Я
it,
тебе не
but
верю.
They were freak DNA.
Ты делаешь
specimens.
медленно.
Like
От
those
тебя
women had
вечно
giant
дождешься.
thighs and giant asses, and that's who they were.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Kim, she's got those
Вот,
spindly.
потому что ты все вечно
yeah, like,
сделаешь.
Her
Просто.
butt is this. They just. It's a surgical
А ты
creation.
что пиздишь?
Like there's pictures of her that are online that make it look good, but they're all photoshopped. And we found out about that
Sure.
because she got paparazzi when she was in Mexico. They caught her on
Yeah,
the
that,
beach.
I think that was the one that they were showing
no,
right there.
no, it's way
it's
grosser
worse.
than that. Way grosser. they caught her wandering around the beach, and they took photos of her, like real paparazzi photos. She would have fake paparazzi photos where she would hire paparazzi to take photos of her, and then she would Photoshop them up. And they made it look like everything was in place, but it's
Пошли.
not.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. This is what it really looks like.
Чё ждать-то?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's that?
Okay, so if the legs match the ass, I'd be totally fine with
Yeah,
that.
but even that ass is a distortion. There's so much going on there because you're not supposed to have that much fat in one place. A girl who has an ass like that has legs to match it.
That's what I'm saying. If the legs match the ass, I'd like it. But the legs, yeah, the legs
Пойдём
throw it off as
в
little twig legs, and then you got the.
It's just it's a
obnoxious
bad
Быстро.
message. It's like those guys that shoot synthol into their
Oh,
muscles
yeah, the
to get
synthol,
fake
sure.
muscles.
Предлагаю
It's the
что
same
брать.
thing. Like that's not a real ass. Like
I know.
just
yeah.
like those synthol muscles are not real muscles.
Погода,
They're
говорю,
so
хорошая.
obviously
So's
fake.
that butt.
Yeah, because of the legs though. But if the
Yeah.
legs matched it, I'd be like, that's nice.
Yeah, but it wouldn't match it. It's just not possible. And
I've seen some where it matches.
Yeah, but not like that. The whole thing is a disaster. It's just.
Have you ever watched the show?
There's a synthol guy. Look at that poor guy.
Look at his
neck.
face. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
nailing this shit.
look
Надо,
at his neck.
чтобы
I got
Рокстар
this shit
же
unlocked.
вовремя
look at this
He
guy.
looks like he's got tits.
He does.
режим
I mean, these
пришел.
guys wind
Ну,
up
типа,
getting
как
horrible
добивался.
infections,
Поржать,
too.
блядь, над
Sometimes
его рейтингом.
Well, they
get gangrene and shit.
they say that there's an
Christ.
actual thing. Oh my God! They say how there's an actual thing called bigorexia. Like there's
Yeah.
anorexia
Yeah.
and there's bigorexia.
Body dysmorphia. It exists with. I mean, there's people that have body dysmorphia in terms of their facial features. They just can't stop tweaking their nose.
Да? Я уже матч даже еще. Ты ведь сегодня так не соберешься.
Hello, freak bitches. So I think there's that. But then there's also, look, like the Colin
Заходишь?
Kaepernick thing. I think that probably cost a lot of ratings for the NFL.
Что, я отменяю
There,
поиск?
there was that poll that came out that said, I think of the
В смысле
12%
нет?
of people who said that they were
Ты заходишь
watching
или
NFL
нет?
games last year, 28% of that 12% said that the Kaepernick national anthem thing was the reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Боже
some
мой,
people
сколько
it
долларов.
probably emboldened them. They probably liked it and they wanted to watch it more.
This was fascinating about the cultural breakdown of the country. Basically,
Не во
white
всем.
people hated it and black people loved it. This is how the polls were. It was like 72% of black people thought it was great, and like an equal percentage of white
Тебя
people thought that it
уламывать-то
was just
надо.
terrible.
Ой, как не знаю кого.
Which is a fascinating look at sort of
Я говорю,
how
тебя уламывать
race
прям надо.
relations work in the country at
Yeah.
large. It's actually one of the
Чё
reasons
ты
I think
орёшь?
that
Я
ESPN's
тебя
been losing
прекрасно
ratings. Like I
слышу.
used to watch ESPN religiously, and now
Чё ты
all I
не
want is to
слышишь?
just watch my sports and not be bothered with the politics.
Right.
Because I say I do that during the day, and it's a
Yeah.
pet peeve of mine that every time I turn on ESPN, I have to lecture about Caitlyn Jenner or about Black Lives Matter. It's like, shut up. Caitlyn Jenner hasn't even been athletically relevant since before I was born. I was born in 1984.
Well, the Caitlyn Jenner piece, when they did it for ESPN, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the word was that her getting Athlete of the Year or whatever the award was that she
Yeah,
got.
it's like Hero of the Year. It's like the
ESPY's
Hero of the Year award. Yeah.
Hero. Was directly tied to the exclusive interview with Diane Sawyer.
That
And
makes sense.
They sold the two of them together as a package deal, which I buy 100%. If you don't, come on, think
You don't know
about
how
where
TV works if that's the case.
where she came from. She's a fucking Kardashian, okay? She's a giant Kardashian.
That's
I mean,
right.
That's what she is. Now, notice I'm saying she. I'm
Yeah,
very,
you're saying she. I would say he.
very politically correct.
Yeah, I'm not.
But the video where they circled her house and she was like moving in the shadows behind the drapes. Did you ever see that?
No.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was like the first time she was revealing herself as this
okay.
woman. So they're circling her house. She's this.
All right, guys, come on, push. Get on the objective. Go, 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 go. We got this. We got this. Come on, yes! Oh, good game. Oh, that was awesome. All right, I'll catch you later, Ryan.
Hey! Hello? Do you know what today is?
Leave me alone.
Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. Guess.
I said, leave me alone.
Suit yourself.